Hey everybody, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be adding in some AI and getting to a point where they can track us, like they kind of change their animation and then they'll attack. So you can see the debug that we have right there. You'll also notice as we get hit by these guys, they do decrease the overall health that we have. I've turned off the health respawn issues so that this thing won't kill me outright, so I can kind of test this stuff out. But it does still respond the way we need it to. I can get my health back. I can get hurt again from them as long as they get a good hit on me. And they change their state based on finding me. So let's go ahead and get into this and see how we do this. First, I'm going to erase everything real quick. So let's come back after I erase. Okay, so we've gotten rid of everything. We've gotten rid of the nav mesh, the AI, everything. And so I'm going to be kind of building this from the ground up just so you can kind of see a little bit different way to set these guys up. So you can also take this and just run with it from where you're at as well. But I thought I'd just show you a different way to do this so you have another option. All right, so first thing we want to do, I've got a folder here called AI characters already. I would recommend you keep that organization going. And then in here, I'm going to start by making my AI character. So that is going to be just a blueprint class. We're going to do this one as a pawn. And we're going to do AI underscore, and I'm going to actually use a skeleton setup that, you know what, actually, no. Let me do a different one here. Let me show you a trick too. Okay. So if you go out, and I'm going to use a skeleton from this Polygon Pirates pack right here. It's right here. And you might notice that it's already set up with a skeletal mesh right here. And that says characters UE4 mannequin. Well, that's actually had this already set up to work with the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin. So I can use something very similar to that if I want to. And I found over in a very small pack, the Polygon Prototype pack, they have a folder called Epic Content in there. If you go under Blueprints, their third-person character is already built, so it's running the right mesh that you, well, sorry, the right skeleton that you need to be able to kind of do whatever you need to. So you just kind of have to take a few things out. So I think instead, what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to use this skeleton. Let's just kind of check it right here, and let's see. We're using character skeleton. That works. And what I'm going to do is, if you remember how to import things from other Cinti packs, then you already know how to kind of get this in here, and you just migrate the pieces that you need. I would look into a pack and look for an Epic Content pack. And then underneath that, you should see that they have a blueprints, and then you should be able to see that they have a third-person character already built for you in there. So if you wanted to, I could make a copy of this. I want to say this one right here. All I did was swap out the mesh since it's already ready to go for this style of character, this Cinti type of character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag it over to my AI characters. I'm going to ask, do you want to move? I'm going to copy it. Okay, then I go over to my AI characters. I'm going to get rid of this one. There's a lot to add if you just do a pawn. You got to add in character movement and all this other stuff. This pretty much has everything already built for me. I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to get rid of all of this because I don't need it. I'm not going to be running this as a character, so I don't need a bunch of controls. And then I want to get rid of the camera and the camera boom, and we already have character movement, so we should be in pretty good shape. All right, so we've already kind of managed to get rid of a few things with that. Another thing that I did, and the previous video shows you how to grab animations and models from Mixamo. So I imported a character, this zombie character right here, and a few different animations that I'm going to use. So just like what we did in that previous AI video, that's how I got a hold of these. Now that we have these, I need to retarget them. So I'm going to retarget them to a new skeleton. So I just need to highlight the ones that I want to get. So I'm going to get the drunk walk, that one right there. I'm going to get actually from here I could just, as long as I've got this highlighted, I can just start from here. I don't have to select everything else. So I'm just going to right click here. I'm going to go up to retarget animations. So all I did was right click on this, go to retarget animations, and it's showing all the animations that I brought in with this character. So we can take a look. I thought this would be a good one for the skeletons. So I'm going to use this drunk walk right here. And the target skeleton is going to be the skeleton itself. You can see it's already retargeted everything pretty well for me. So this is how they'll be walking as they move around that space. This is kind of what you saw from the little demo at the very beginning. And what I'm going to want to do is we're going to come back and we're going to export all these animations. Well, most of these animations, but first I want to export the retarget asset. So this auto generate retargeter right here, I want to move that and I want to put that into that AI characters. But first, what I want to do is I'm trying to keep my organization in a good spot here. So I need to go back to my AI characters. There's my third person character. I need to change the name of that. Call that AI underscore Skelly. Okay. And then I'm going to make a new folder and I'm going to call this AI underscore Skelly parts. Okay. Just like all the different pieces I'm going to be working on here. Okay. So we got that. And then I'm going to go to right here. Now, sometimes that little auto retargeter, if you click past it, it's a floating window. It doesn't really dock anywhere. So might have to just bring that in. Okay, now I'm going to export this retargeter right here. So I'll go up here. I'm going to go into the AI characters, AI Skelly parts, export. There we go. Now I've got this retargeter here so that anytime I bring anything from Mixamo in, I can just use that retargeter for any other animations that I want to bring in, which, you know, I may want to grab some more. So that takes care of that. Let's pop back over into these animations and let's get a few more. So back into this retarget animation space. If you don't already have it, you just go back and find one of the zombie animations that you brought in, right click on it, retarget animation. This will bring up the exact same thing again. So I want to take a look at a few things. This is going to be the attack we're going to use a little bit later. That idle's not too bad. That one's gonna gotta take a look here and it looks decent. Then we're gonna have a running one. This is when they find them, it's gonna run after them. And then these walks, I don't really care if I get a hold of those or not. So I think I'm gonna do the attack, drunk walk, the idle, and the running. Okay, so we're just gonna do export animations. We're gonna say the same space. We're gonna put it in AI Skelly parts. Say export, and it's going to, if we wanted to, we could actually put a little prefix on there in the beginning if you wanted to, but I don't really feel like I have to do that. It's going to go through and retarget all these assets for you, which is nice. And now let's go back into, here's our Skelly parts here where we have a lot of different animations and we have these ready to go. We have these ready to work with. One more thing we're going to need to do, and this is a little bit different from what you guys did in your previous zombie, is I am going to make a blend space. So to do that, what you use a blend space for is so it can smoothly move through several different animations. Usually use it to move from an idle to a walk to a run, and blend spaces can be multi-dimensional, which I'll show you here in just a second. Let me go ahead and right click here. We're going to go into animation and we're going to do a blend space. Now this is the current blend space. Previously there was another version called a blend space 1D. This is kind of a legacy thing, so it means it may not be hanging out for very long, so we don't necessarily need to use it. Everything that we really need is right here in this blend space. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and it wants to know what skeleton are you going to be applying this to. So I know that my skeleton is built off the UE4 mannequin skeleton. Unfortunately, I've got two of them here, so I am going to have to do a little bit of guessing, but I'm pretty sure this one right here, since I'm hovering over it and it says Polygon Prototype, and this one says Polygon Pirates, probably either one would work, but I think this is the one that I ended up changing into the third person character, so I'm going to use the Polygon Prototype one right here. Okay, so we're going to call this BS for blend space, underscore idle to run. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this, and we're going to make our blend space. So there is a third person idle to run that's right here, and I'll show you what that one looks like here real quick. Just double click on that, hold down Control, and you move this little X around, and you're able to trigger the different animations at different speeds. And this is pretty much what we're going to make with this one right here. Okay, now one thing we want to do is we want to change our preview settings. It's going to be up here. I'm going to change it from the preview mesh to be the let's see, we got the zombie male. Oh, that looks pretty good. That's from another pack. And I want to just change this out real quick. Actually, I think what the problem I'm having here with this idle is that it is reading the other elements that are in here, but it is the wrong one. So I'll have to go back and remake it real quick. Not a big deal. We're going to go back to the content drawer, right click here. We're going to go to the animation, go to blend space. And this time I'm going to select the one. So the skeleton is part of the pirate pack. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And we're going to do BS just like we did before. Blend space, idle to, I'm just going to say chase. So we don't have any issues with these two conflicting with each other. Probably not going to need this one anymore. So go ahead and delete that. And let's go into idle to chase. Okay. First thing we're going to do is go up and change out the preview mesh. And this one does work with the zombie and with my skeleton. So that's kind of nice. We can just keep checking those skeletons to make sure that they should interact with it, but this one is working with multiple Synthi assets, so that's good. All right, so one thing we want to do is first we have to set up our horizontal axis. We don't really care about the vertical on this one. We're just going to be working on speed through here. So on the left side, we're going to go over, and this may be closed up for you. We're just going to open up horizontal axis. The name on here, I'm going to put speed. Minimum value would be 0. It's going to be on this side, and maximum is right now it's 100 over here. I think after I played with the skeletons previously, the best one for that animation for the drunk and then to the chase was that chase animation was 200, and the drunk walk was good at about 100. So we're going to have that right in the middle. The 4 grid divisions, you can kind of see those right here, so you can change that if you want to. I might change it to 3, but I want to have a good line of demarcation in the middle so I know where 100 is. I'm going to do, you can do snap to grid if you want to, that's fine. I think one thing that can be helpful here, smoothing time on this one, I think we probably want to change that a little bit just because it's going to make it run a little bit better. You could change that smoothing time to about 5. So I'm going to change that up here, 5. Yeah, we might even make it bigger, but we'll just see how that goes. Okay, so we have that, and so now we just bring in the different animations that we want to use. So the idle, we're going to put that right here at 0. Okay, so there's our idle animation right there. We're going to do the drunk walk at about 100 right there. Okay, we'll just go ahead and scoot that up right here. You can see that running up, and we're at the drunk walk. Okay, and then we're going to have the running one right here at the end. Excuse me, at 200. So we should be able to run this up here. Now that is pretty small. I'm sorry, the smoothing time. So you can see how that X is slowly coming up behind it. I might lower that to just 2. So as it moves, we'll see it change. That's a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better. We'll just see how it performs later on. You can always tune it. All right, so as far as the blend space is concerned, that's all we need. We're just going to hit save there, and then let's go back to our content browser. We've got almost everything we need. We'll come back and make one more thing in here in just a second. Let's go back to our AI Skelly, or whatever you're calling your new AI. Could be a zombie, just like the one that you had before. We're just adding in some more features. Okay, so let's go and go over to the event graph, and we want to change a few things on here. One of the first things we probably want to change is let's go up into the class defaults up here at the top, and we want to change some of the turning orientation. So I'm going to go orientation, rotation to movement. Okay, that's good. We want that to be checked. And we want to find one other thing. Let me see. I think I've got that in here. Use control rotation, yeah. Yeah, you want to make sure that's unchecked. So this will just make sure as the character moves, like as it turns, it's going to turn the direction it's moving. It's not going to like turn to the right and then keep sliding to the left or anything like that. So these settings will help with that. Let's just go ahead and start building some of the aspects that we need here in the event graph. Okay, so first off, let me check the character movement real fast, because we want to fix the max walk speed. We want that to start off, I think I'm going to have it start off at 100. No, that's the max walk speed. 200 should be the max walk speed, because that's what we set inside of the idle here. So 200 is going to be this one right down here. So we can see it get to this point. Okay. All right. So we're going to go back in. We set the max walk speed. We're going to compile that and save it. And then let's go back up in, let's see, the event graph here. That looks good. Yeah, we got some old stuff here in the base return rate and base lookup rate. We're not going to need those. So I'm just going to go ahead and, these are for old controls actually, that you needed in Unreal Engine, but I don't need them. So we'll just make variables as we need them. I think we'll be okay with what we got. So first thing we want to do is we're going to bring in an event begin play. And just like our other zombie, we want to make something that's going to wander around. So I'm going to make a custom event. I'm going to call it wander. Okay. And we just want to get that going. So off event begin play, we're going to call wander. There we go. And then off of wander, what we're going to want to do is we're going to do an AI move to and move to. And from this, we're going to want to get a reference to self. I'll just probably type in self. There we go. And that's our pawn. That's the thing we're at right now. And then we'll want to get a random location. So this is very similar to what you guys did before. In this one, we'll just get random reachable point and radius. Yeah, that's what we want to use. Okay, and then we're going to get actor location for the origin. There we go. Whoop. Nope, that's not the one. Let's see. Get actor location. Did I get the wrong one? No, that's the right one. There we go. It has self on there. Good. For the radius, I'm going to say anything within about 2,000 units should be good. And then as far as the acceptable radius, radius 5 is fine. Target actor, we're going to use that a little bit later on, but I think we can move on to the on success right here. So on success, we're going to do a little delay. 0.2 should be fine. And then we're going to call wander again. Okay, we can keep that loop going. And on fail, we still want it to just go straight to wander. So we're going to do that. Oops, went too far. There we go. Just going to bring this down here. Just a little nicer to look at. Okay, so this should have our character wandering around. Now, one thing about this is that we're going to want to set up a couple more things so we can walk around. One thing we want to do is back in our animations here, we are going to create a little bit of an animation blueprint. Okay, so to do that, we're going to right click in here. We're going to do animation blueprint. I'm going to select the skeleton right here because that's the Polygon Pirate one. Okay, and we're going to do ABP and call it Skelly. Okay, we're just going to go in here, and we already have a lot of the things that we need. So I need this blend space right here. That's the one we made. Idle to chase. I'm going to drag that in. Okay, and I'm going to connect these two, but what I want to do, since later on we're going to want to make this zombie attack the players, we're going to put in a default slot right there in the middle so that we can interrupt this and make our character, or make our skeleton, zombie, whatever, swipe at our player. Okay, so we have speed right here that we're going to need to fix up, because this is going to tell us whether we're going to be idle, walking, or chasing after our player. So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to promote to a variable. Okay, it's already afloat. That works well for us. And now we need to fix this up so it'll actually, you know, work with us. Let's see. So we need to go into our event graph right here. I'm just going to compile that. Hey, see, it's already working. I want to see about changing the preview settings here, and I'm going to put in the skeleton. There we go. Like that, just being able to see what I'm actually wanting to work with here. Okay, so speed, we're going to go over to the event graph, and let's get rid of that. We're going to use the event blueprint update animation right here, and we're going to be setting the speed. So what we're going to do is kind of work backwards. So, well, and we're going to work up to this. So to get speed, to get a speed of something in Unreal Engine, we use vector length, like how far are they able to go in a certain amount of time. That's speed, basically, right? So we're going to pull back off of this, and we're going to get vector length. There we go. Like I said, we're going to work our way backwards here. And then from here, we're going to get velocity. Let's see, let's pull this off of here. And let's see, get velocity. Yes, I believe that's the one we want. We'll go ahead and, whoops, pull this down here. And then we also just want to get the pawn owner. We want to make sure we're following this particular pawn or actor in some cases. But in this one, we're just calling it a pawn. So, okay, this will set speed for us. And now we should be able to set the speed inside of the skeleton's event graph right here. And it'll make it go at the speed that we decide for wander or for chasing or anything like that. Okay, so let's just kind of see how he's doing right now. I'm just going to drag a skeleton in here. Let's go back out. Let's see how he's doing. Now, one thing I haven't added in yet, and you always have to remember this, is you're going to need a nav mesh. Okay, like I said, I erased everything from that AI after I demoed it for you at the very beginning. So we're going to have to add a bunch of stuff back in. Okay, so nav mesh bounds volume right there. Okay, and I need to spread it out through this entire map right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop that down, and let's start expanding this thing. Let's see, that would be the best right there. Oh, it's way too far down. I'm out of the map. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit P here. Yep, we got everything live. Okay, so if you hit P while you're hovering over your nav mesh, or you have it selected, then you're able to see it in that space, just like in the previous videos. But just want to reiterate, just in case people need it. Okay, so that's about right, but I think I want to pick this up a little bit more, and let's expand it out. Okay. There we go. That looks like that's pretty well covering almost everything there. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back down to my skeleton, and he's on the ground. Let's see how he's moving around. Okay. Hey, he's walking around. Looks good. Now he does seem to be kind of, oh, he's following the old animation blueprint. This is the one that just came with the character. So let me go ahead and fix that real quick. Excuse me. Go here to the viewport, and I want to go to the mesh, and we've made a new animation blueprint. So we're going to go here, ABP Skelly. There we go. Yeah, he looked way too respectable there a second ago. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, not too bad. It looks like it's kind of in between. It is chasing right now. So it's going to 200 right now. And you can see that weight as it changes its direction. It's kind of taking a few seconds for it to kind of get over to the new animation. So, like I say, you may want to go in and change that possibly, but I think I might switch it up to smoothing time. Just do 1. There we go. All right, so what I want to do right now is I need him to just to wander around. When he's wandering, I need him to be going at a certain speed. So right here on wander, what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see, we're going to grab not the mesh, we're going to grab the character movement. Off the character movement, we're going to set max walk speed. There we go. And we're going to run this into this execution pin here, and our new walk speed needs to be 100. Okay, and then I'm going to run this into here. This should make our character do the drunken walk. Let's see how we doing. It's going really slowly, and I feel like we might need to go in and do a little work on our. Let's see. So right here, yeah. So one thing is, and you might be able to see this, I may just pull this down here. There we go. Looks like our drunk walk is not queuing unless it's like right there. So I'm going to save this one more time. Let's take a look and see how it's coming across in here. Okay, there he is. He's drunk walking. There we go. Just had to adjust a little bit. And he's just randomly walking around. Okay, so we got this set up a little bit differently this time. And we have our blend space working with speed. And I think that's probably a pretty good place to stop on this one, and we'll continue on in the next video where we'll get that melee working and everything.